Ryan, good to have you on the call today. So obviously you've been with us for, what is it now? 4, 5 months.
4 months, yeah.
And obviously you just invested your time and you're going to be with us for a year. I'm really excited about that. Just want to ask you a few questions. Obviously, you're time strapped, you're traveling all the time, really, really busy guy, right? You've got a lot of responsibility, like most of our guys. But before you sort of joined our sort of coaching program, what did you struggle with the most, do you feel?
So before I joined, I think the biggest struggle I had was consistency. Because of my travel, I had access to different forms of exercise, sometimes at gyms, sometimes not. And therefore, what I tended to do was to keep on doing the same old routines and then, try and increase weights according to what I thought would be, appropriate.
Yeah.
So I didn't really had a solid methodology behind it, and there was a lot of inconsistencies because of that. And even though I made sure I went to gym on a regular basis, I just wasn't gaining.
Yeah, frustrating, right? We didn't quite getting the ROI on what you were doing.
Yeah.
How often do you travel? How often you traveling quite a lot, aren't you?
Yeah, so I'm on the road half of my time. So 2 weeks out of every given month, I'm on the road. So it is obviously very disruptive to get that continuity. And I think that was the frustrating piece when I got back to, my home base. I felt that if I was here for 2 weeks, I could kind of get a little bit of progression. But then as soon as I was on the road, it was almost like an excuse because I wasn't back at my home gym.
And how do you feel the program has helped you sort of manage that aspect of it? Obviously, being a busy, career-driven guy like yourself.
So I think number one, like with anything, if you make an investment, you want to see the return, right? So I was invested in myself because I put a
Yeah.
financial investment into it. So I committed because of that, which I think is a good thing.
Mm.
But most importantly to me, it was getting the guidance, both from yourself and Daryl, who's also been great, and obviously the app to give the workouts. So the workouts, great because you got the videos, you can see exactly making sure you focus on your technique and the timing. That was an area that I wasn't good at. And then importantly, the tracking. So tracking your progress, keeping you honest around what weights you did previously, the timing in terms of your breaks. So actually for me, I was getting far more efficiency out of my workouts. 45 minutes I was
Right.
done and I was feeling like I actually had a far better workout had I spent an hour and a half at the gym. So with me being very busy, trying to schedule in a 45 minutes or take, an extra 15 to have a shower, an
Yeah.
hour, I was done, you know.
Yeah. In and
So
out.
to me, I was therefore actually finding a lot easier to schedule in my sessions. I was tracking my weights and therefore I was pushing myself, even though there wasn't, your trainer there to tell you what to do. The app was keeping you honest
Mm.
because you were tracking it.
No, wicked. Yeah, all about getting in and out of the gym, right? And then obviously
Yeah.
when you go to the hotel gyms and stuff, you obviously we change the program for you and you sort of keep plodding along, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I think that was the good piece was just to talk around that. And rather than it be used as an excuse, it actually could be used as a benefit. It
Yeah.
was fantastic. Well, so you're traveling, but you can get access to a gym. So what equipment is there? This is the type of stuff you can do. And some of the exercises were then modified accordingly.
No, amazing. Really crushed that side of it. Over this last sort of 4 months, obviously we've just been on the call now. We've set some, goals for the next sort of 6 weeks. What have been the benefits physically, mentally? What have been the sort of results for you personally so
Yeah,
far?
so I think the biggest benefit for me is just that rekindling of the love of exercise. I've been doing gym for the last 10 years
Mm.
and I've known the benefits in terms of your well-being, in terms of your strength, in terms of your posture. All of those pieces were there, but I kind of lost the passion of going to gym because I'd stagnated for so many years. I hadn't really progressed in terms of my weight. I hadn't progressed in terms of my strength, and I certainly wasn't progressing in terms of my gains. So for me, in the last 4 months, that's been the big game changer. I've just completely loving being back at gym because I can see I'm getting stronger. I feel stronger. I'm
Mm.
enjoying the exercises more because of it, because I'm getting that guidance. And it's great to see the graphs, in terms of your strength and what you've been able to
Yeah.
achieve.
Yeah, you're a data man, aren't you, as well?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
We all love a bit of data, but when you can see sort of how progressing.
Yeah.
Um,
And then, so the other important piece is matching the exercise with diet. I think the diet piece was, whilst I've known that it's incredibly important as part
mm,
of a wellness strategy, actually been given guidance around meal plans, then further, guidance in terms of what apps to track your macros. That to me has been the next game changer, if you like. And that's the piece that I now want to commit to more to see how, I can really progress with that.
yeah, yeah. I guess do you find that has helped, like the educational side of it helps you when you're traveling, knowing what to have, what's good for your body, what you can get away with, and things like that.
Yeah, definitely. Because, for me, I always thought I was a healthy eater or conscious in terms of what I was eating, but then actually mapping out your macros to say, well, you thought you were hitting your proteins or your carbs, but actually you weren't. So I've been fooling myself to say, well, actually I'm eating what my body needs, and I'm eating against what I want to gain from a muscle mass perspective, but clearly I wasn't. And it's no surprises then that I was feeling weak. I wasn't gaining muscle mass because I wasn't committing from a diet perspective.
Absolutely. It's crucial, isn't it? And do you feel this is realistic for you, Ryan? What you've been doing, do you feel like it's realistic and you can keep doing this as a long-term lifestyle, as a habit?
That was the big question mark I had to begin with, because you always see these videos and you see these, before and afters. And, my before wasn't that bad. I didn't have a lot of weight to lose. So I was a little bit skeptical in terms of how far I could go. But this is the best I have felt since the last 10 years that I've been going to gym.
Really?
In terms of physical strength, posture, in terms of, sleep, in terms of everything. And it's the most accelerated period I've had in terms of physical gain in just a short period of time. So absolutely think it's realistic. Absolutely, it takes commitment, but the commitment is easier to do when you've seen the results.
Yeah, exactly, mate. And like I said to you before, Ryan looks like Tom Cruise with his top off. No, I really appreciate it, buddy. It's been great to have you for the last sort of four or 5 months, and look forward to hatching some more plans and kicking on.
Yeah, absolutely. Really appreciate your support.